In this episode, we'll be looking at industrial robotics and automation and the rise of dark factories. If this is your first time to the channel, please do me a favor and hit the like button. It's no secret that we've seen a rapid development in Industry 4.0, and with that, the rise of robots that are effectively coming for our jobs. Now, the question is, what does that mean for us? What is our current state and where we're headed? And on top of that, how can you look at investing in a disruptive technology that is shaping our very lives? So first off, we need to look at our current state. We live in a society of consumerism, and effectively what that means is we expect everything today. In fact, we don't even expect everything today, we expect everything yesterday. And this has created a rapid rise in stress. And this, of course, is filtering down into our family lives, which then in turn filters down to our children. It then becomes no surprise that a report was released by Gallup having a look at the fitness of US workers. And it was reported that 57% reportedly felt stress on a daily basis in the last year. As of summer 2021, 50% of employees believe work itself has become too stressful. This is despite the fact that we've been working from home during a COVID pandemic. One would think with all the structures that a company would put in place in order to keep employees happy during a lockdown period, that we still find employees being completely burnt out. In fact, we find the stress levels of employees rapidly rising year upon year. So again, what is actually happening? What is causing this burnout and what is causing the stress levels? And it all comes back down to meeting the demands of consumerism. In the workplace, we have tighter budgets, we have tighter deadlines, and we are pushed to our limits to work even harder and even longer. We are simply biologically incapable of keeping up with consumerism. And unfortunately, the stress levels we are bringing back to the family life. The fact of the matter is companies are driven by profits. Without profits, there is no company, there is no work. The other factor that comes into play, in order for a company to meet the demands of consumerism, production is at a state where it has to now operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year, non-stop. And if a company cannot meet the demands of a particular consumer, well, that consumer is just going to go to the competitor. Welcome to the rise of dark factories, where industrial robotics and automation will be able to meet the demands of the consumer. Now, we need to understand, what is a dark factory? Well, a dark factory is very simply a lights-out factory with only robotics and automation of a production line with no humans on site. A complete manufacturing plant or a logistic warehouse or even a mining operation run completely autonomously. Not only would a company be able to boost production, but it would also limit the amounts of defects that get flooded into the market, therefore boosting more profits for the company. Now, you might be wondering, okay, now we're going to have our jobs replaced. What's going to happen to us? How are we going to make money? Isn't that going to cause more stress for us? Well, not exactly. In fact, quite the opposite. The very technology of Industry 4.0 and the subgroup of industrial robotics and automation is the very same technology that's actually going to be making us a lot of money. And I want to show you something very cool. And it's one of the first stocks we're actually going to be looking at, which is ABB. And they're developing a system which is robotic solutions for logistics. Now, picture you own a business which is strictly an e-commerce site, and what will happen with the advent of 3D printing, artificial intelligence, smacked into an autonomous factory that you can literally start in your garage. And as mentioned, with artificial intelligence, you will effectively, with ABB's solution, have your own inventory manager, your own store manager, your own production manager, your own sales manager, your own account manager, your own legal manager, and well, your own CEO. All autonomous, calibrating itself with the fluctuations of the supplies and demands of consumerism. Welcome to the future. Less stress and money being generated autonomously for you. I welcome the rise of the robots to come and take our jobs. Right, now let's have a quick look at ABB. Now ABB has a very lustrous career in robotics and automation, particularly in the automotive space. But you'll also find them in venturing out into the mining sector, into the warehouse and logistics space itself. They actually come with really great reputation, and they are one of the world's leading robotic manufacturers. They have installed more than 500,000 robots worldwide. Right, now if we have a look at ABB, stock ticker is very simple to remember, ABB. They do pay a dividend yield of 2.65%. They have been around in the industry for decades. Their growth is always actually going up and up. And the stock is currently sitting at $33.07 US. And ABB actually makes my top pick. Another company that's been making headways is actually Fanuc, another pedigree in the industry. And as you can see, they are fully into robotics and automation for the majority of the sectors. And they have an expansive worldwide footprint. And again, if we have a look at their stock ticker, FANUY, they're currently sitting at $19.69 US. They have a slightly lower dividend yield, which is 1.35%. But again, you can see the overall trend is actually going up. It is fairly stable, but overall there is a thrust of it spiking higher, and then higher. Another play in this industry are actually manufacturers of sensors, sensor technologies, RFID or deep learning. And one of the leaders in this particular sensor technology is actually Cognex, with their footprints again pretty much all over the world. And they are one of the best contenders in terms of visual camera solutions for track and trace in production lines. Right, now let's have a look at their ticker. Cognex, with the ticker CGNX, is currently trading at $87.38 US. They've been around in the industry for decades, but as you can see, it is just rising up and up and up, simply because, again, of the rapid involvement and the rapid speed of Industry 4.0 coming to the industrial, logistics, and mining sectors. Another fantastic automation company to get involved in is actually Rockwell Automation. And again, they have a massive footprint globally and have a very good reputation within the markets and can service most industries, specifically your food and beverage, as well as logistics space. And overall, this gives you a nice visualization of how sensors with smart technologies are actually all talking to each other and being deployed back up into the cloud. Fully automation production line. Right, let's have a look at Rockwell Automation's ticker, and their ticker is simply ROK, ROK. And they're currently trading at $319 US. Another brand that has been around for decades, and as you can see, the exponential growth in terms of smart sensors for the production lines in order to make them autonomous. They do come with a much improved dividend yield over Cognex, and currently their dividend yield is at 1.34%. Another play in the robotics and automation sector is looking at ETFs. And one of the most popular ETF is actually called Robo Global Robotics and Automation ETF, or simply Robo. And on their website, if you scroll all the way down, you'll be able to find the complete listings of companies that's in this particular ETF basket. Now, it's not a pure play on just robotics and automation. They also have artificial intelligence companies in there, as well as 3D printing companies. A second ETF to have a look at is, of course, by Cathie Woods, which, of course, is ARKQ, and ARK Autonomous Tech and Robotics ETF. And if we scroll down this particular ETF and we go to the all-time, you'll see that if you invested in 2015 or 2016, this particular ETF has simply skyrocketed. This particular ETF is not a pure play only on industrial robotics and automation. You'll find, again, artificial intelligence, as well as 3D manufacturers. So this is not a technology that we should be fearful of. Of course, there will be teething processes in terms of the switch, as Industry 3.0 was simply the continuation of our jobs that were created with Industry 1.0. It is effectively Industry 4.0 that will be ending our roles in the workforce. And it's a welcome technology, and it's a technology we should not be fearing. And as mentioned in the beginning of the episode, we will be seeing the rapid rise of entrepreneurs.